Okay, thank you for coming to this session. In this session, my original title was the work by format. But during these 2 years, 2 months, I found another good point of view. The content is almost the same, but I just changed my focus. And for those who are already migrating and promoting LibreOffice, and I hope this can help you as a good material to communicate with people. And if for those who don't understand LibreOffice that much, you can see this and to have more inspiration from this. So originally, I would like to focus on comparing ODF and OOXML, because in these years in Taiwan, I promote LibreOffice and the open document format, and I found one important thing is that people like to compare software to software. When we tell them to use free software, open source software, Linux, right, like this, people will always compare that. No, I think Microsoft Office is better. I think Microsoft is easy to use. But I found that if you compare format to format, it's a very strange thing that for digital documents, we have 2 international standards. These 2 are both international standards. And it's a very strange thing, actually. And it shouldn't happen. But anyway, they are there. And I found that if we compare format to format, and the advantage of ODF is very clear. Very clear. And after we compare this, we can tell people that you can use any software that supports ODF well. Okay? Some software does not support ODF well. They generate problematic ODF files. And these are all in the report of ODF projects. So now I will, in this talk, I will tell you about an even more important point of view, that is interoperability of the documents. That's also inspired by De-iure, who is a core member in the Document Foundation. So we start from the historical point of view. In ancient China, or ancient Japan, ancient Europe, anywhere, in ancient age, how do we generate documents? How do we generate documents? We always write it, right? By hand, no matter with brushes, or with pen, or with goose, what's that? Goose feeders, pen. Anyway, we write the documents. We generate the document by hand. This is an ancient China report to emperor. So it's very, the word is very beautiful, really. Every time I brought friends to our National Museum, National Paris Museum, we have an exhibition there. I will show it something like this. So we generate documents by hand. And then how do we interoperate? How do we transfer the document? right? Right? We send the document by horse, fast. Every station we change the horse to send to the palace, to the emperor, and then emperor will directly write this. This is a famous table in Taiwan. The 4 words means the emperor said, "I got it." Okay, I got it. Yeah, you can buy that in the Paris Museum. Yeah, it's very famous. So this is ancient China or ancient Japan. I think everywhere it should be the same. We write documents and we send by mail, by post, by anything, even by pigeon. right? That's the ancient way to interoperate our documents. Okay, then the time comes to near age. How do we generate documents? In the 20th century, or even a bit earlier? Did you see this? Here, has anyone here ever used this kind of typewriter to generate documents? You raise your hand. You? You? Really? You? Okay. Anyone other? No? Okay. I learned my English typing with this kind of typewriter. It's about when I was 13, maybe. My uncle sent me one. And I bought a color strip. You need to install color strip and put the paper inside. And every time you click a key, a thing will stop to stand on the paper, right? We generate document with this kind of typewriter. And do you know why our keyboard arranged like this? Q, W, R, T, Y, S, D, F, do you know? Why not A, B, C, D, F? Do you know? Anybody here know? Why does the keyboard arrange like this? Q, W, E, R, T, Y. Nobody knows? Okay, I'll tell you. The design of the keyboard is to make you to slow down your typing. The arrangement of keyboard is to slow down your typing. If you type too fast, when the typewriter stand on the table and then another starts and then come back, it will stuck. Okay? It will stuck. So the keyboard range is to slow down your speed. And anyone knows that actually the key R, the R key is originally in the second row. But why does it raise to the first row? Do you know? No? Okay. That's because of the vendor of the typewriter. Because they want to let the user typewriter in the first row. You think about that. Is that right? Typewriter, T-Y-P-E-W-R-I-T-E-R, are they all in the first row? So the R originally in the second row and then to the first row because they want typewriter to type in the first row. Okay. Okay, that's the way we generate our document. We don't need writing anymore. We just put the paper in it and use typewriter. And using this kind of typewriter is actually very difficult to justify, left and right both in a line. It's very difficult. Okay, then the time goes on. Anyone ever seen some software like this? Anyone? Have anyone seen P2? P2, DOS, P2, and maybe for Taiwan or Chinese is ET3, right? This is P2. P2, actually they handle Chinese with several problems, but we started to use computer. We started computer to generate documents, right? And we want to print it out. We use some software like this is called OMX. And OMX, for example, if we want to enlarge a sentence, we need to input the sentence first, and then put a comment in front of it, and then put an escape in the end of the sentence. Okay, we need to do this way, and the OMX will help us to enlarge the font or change a font. For example, the mean height, wrong font. Anyway, they will change font for us. They will change the size for us. But we need to put the comment in front of them and put an escape in the end. When we use it this way, we can generate better document. We can generate beautiful document. but it's still a bit complicated. So that's why when Windows 95 and Office 95 comes out, and it occupied the whole world. Why? Because with the combination of Win 95 and Office 95, generating a beautiful document, it becomes very easy, right? If we want to use a size 24 fonts, we just choose these fonts and set it to 24, and set it to which font, whatever we want, and then it changes. It becomes very easy. So when it comes out to the world, it occupies the whole world in a very short time. Okay, during this time, how do we interoperate documents? How? Of course, we print it out, right? We generate file in computer, and then we print it out, and then we send the paper to our officers, to our to get stamped, or to send mail to by mailman, right? We print it out and send to our coworkers, colleagues. That's the way we interoperate. That's the interoperability in old days. We print out everything, right? In our own computer, it doesn't mean anything, but you need to print out it and send a paper copy to anyone we want to send. So that's the old day document. So in old days, how we learn to generate a document? What we learn is to generate beautiful documents. We need to put the word in the right position. Like, we need to put the words, so we use space to make it right. Okay. Right? We need space. We use space to make it right. Okay, and if you miss some meaningfuls, you ask, no, it's not right enough. So how do we do that? You know, we start to use something like this, invisible table. Have you ever seen that? We use a table to align the word, but we just cancel the frame line. That's called an invisible table, because some meaningfuls will ask align very, very well. So that's what we see. Even, do you know, we even see that how they generate table. How do we generate table now? Usually in the Office suite, we have table, insert, right? How many rows, how many lines, how many columns, right? Have you ever seen any document that its table is generated by compose a lot of text block? Text block, text block, text block, text block, text block, and put together become a table. I used to see that. Okay. So we also use some special fonts, special effects, right? We just make it beautiful to make people really, the document is good. The empty, the white space, it's good. Make it beautiful. Okay, all the above. In old days, it's not a problem, because finally we need to print it out. Right? We made the document, put the word in the appropriate position, in any way we like. And finally we print it out because we exchange by paper. So any way you use is not a problem. But now it's 21st century. It's 2013. It's 17, sorry. In 2017, the way we use to generate documents become a lot of problems, because we enter the new era of digital documents. Now we interoperate documents this way. Right? We generate documents with content, and then how do we exchange? We email, right? We email it. We send it with maybe Dropbox, with anything via internet, intranet, always digital. Do we need to print out again? No, we don't need to listen to old forest crying, right? We don't need to print it out anymore. We just send it via internet, from all digital. But we exchange document, we exchange digital documents. What's the problem? The problem is that the receiver gets a file, he may not be open to it. He may not be open to it. Why not? Because I don't have the software. I have the software but wrong version, right? So I cannot open it. Even I can open it, I cannot see your words because I don't have your fonts. Okay? Even I can see your words, I don't understand what you said because maybe the typesetting is wrong, anything is wrong, right? Because it's digital. So, in 21st century, a very important concept is that document interoperability now is no longer document exchange anymore. It's no longer just exchange. Now we say document interoperability means we need to work together better. The interoperability of document is to make us work together better. So when we generate document, we need to think about others. Okay? What we need to learn, what we need to understand now is how to generate an interoperable document. We cannot generate document in our own way anymore, because using our own way, the receiver may not be able to see what to write. So now, an important concept and the center of my topic is how to generate an interoperable document. Okay? In the interoperable document, there are three important elements to generate an interoperable document. The first one is file format. For file format, we need OpenStack, stable, and standard file format. So that's why we need to resolve here. Later I will get. The second is correct concept of generating documents. Typesetting concept, something like that. And the third one, very few people think about that, but it's very important to use open fonts. Okay, I will now, one by one, tell you about the detail. File format, I just told you that it's very strange that digital document, we have two international standards. ISO 26300, ISO 29500. But one, we said, is De-iure. De-iure, ODF, that means by law. De-facto means by fact. Actually, people use this, but actually, ODF is really a true document. Maybe someone have ever seen the timeline about SDO. I'll tell you. If we use OOXML, a standard just like many countries, including Taiwan several years before. If we use OOXML as a standard, actually, as long as people are using Microsoft Office, they are using this, right? If we use it as standard, what will happen? For example, 2003, we have 2007, 2010, 2013, 2016. And the 2019 is coming, I know. Yeah. Do you know what's the problem? The problem is that, okay, 2003, before 2003, the file itself is DOC, PPT, XLS. And after 2007, it becomes DOCX, PPTX, XLSX. The X means OOXML, right? But from 7, 10, 13 to 16, do you know that each version of OOXML is different? Do you know that? We have ever studied that in the documentation. We have ever studied that. Just one simple thing you can try if you have Microsoft Office or your friends have Microsoft Office. You try, you generate a DOCX file with Office 2013 and open it with 2007. You try it. Can you open that? Can you open that? Can you open with 2013 with a file generated by 2013? The problem is that in Taiwan or in any country, I believe, in different level of government, in different enterprise, some use 2013, some use 2010, some use 2007. And the document generated by 2013 may be in the central government of Taiwan, and he transferred the file to the local government. But the local government got only 2007, even 2003 only. How can he open the file? And the file generator will care about you. Will care about that. You can open the file. That's your own business, right? So that's the big problem of the document interoperability. So because every version of Microsoft Office has different file formats. Then I will show you a number. You will see that. So it is not a good standard. On the contrary, open document format, it has three advantages. It's open spec, ISO standard, and the most is simple and stable. First, we see stable. Let me show you. Do you remember my writing talk yesterday? Yeah. Right? This is my slides. Yeah. See? This is my slide. It's simple. Okay. Documentation. Okay. Okay. There's one different thing. You know? I open it with LibreOffice 4. You see that? And I generate it here. Did you see? I generate it with LibreOffice 5.4. I generate slides with Impress 5.4, but now I open it with LibreOffice 4. Did you see any problem? Did you see any problem? No. That's stable. Every version of LibreOffice generates the same content. As long as you use the same content, they will generate the same XML. That's stable. Okay? And for simple, this is another example. This is in Chinese now, right? And you can see that for the typesetting, you see the number of items, they are almost identical, right? One by LibreOffice 4, and this one is a derivation from LibreOffice 5.2. Okay? So it's stable, no doubt. And you see, when was the LibreOffice 4 released? 5 years ago. 5 years ago. But I still can open it almost identical, right? Almost identical. Okay. Again, with the same, exactly the same content, now I will show you what is simple. Why we say ODF is simple? It's not because they only contain simple error, no. It contains everything in it, but it generates simple XMLs. For example, this content, we can see a title, we can see number of items, table, right? Exactly the same content. This is the result of the generated XML. You see, with any version of LibreOffice, the content XML, if you unzip the ODT, you can see a lot of XML file, and one of the content.xml. The nice of XML, any version of LibreOffice is 222. Okay, any version. So that's why I generate it by LibreOffice 5 and I can open it in LibreOffice 4. But then you see, we don't see ODF generated by Microsoft Office. It's very problematic. Okay, we see OOXML. Even for OOXML, any version of LibreOffice generate OOXML with the same results. But you see, 2013, we got 1,590 lines compared to this, okay, or ODF 222, and you see the 2013 strict. We got this. You know what is transitional and what is strict? This is why I say that every version of Microsoft Office generates different OOXML, because they use OOXML transitional. Transitional means its format wants to backward compatible with old DOC, PPT, XLS file, so it contains several strange binary data inside it. And that's why we say OOXML is open spec, but any other software could not open parsing it correctly because it uses transitional. We can see again, 2013 transitional we got 1,000 lines. 2016 transitional we got 11,000. 11,000. Okay. So that you can see 2013, 2016 they generate different results, right? The format is different. You can see from here, okay? And why since 2016 it becomes so large? It's very interesting, and we dig into it deeper. We put a very simple sentence. Use this. To be or not to be, that is the question. You open Writer, you open Word, and generate ODF. Generate ODF, okay? In the LibreOffice ODT, you just see like this. I simplified the XML tag. You will see something just like this. And you know, in the in the file generated by Microsoft, what will it look like? Be prepared. You will see something like this. Oh, you will see yes. You save it this way. You use the space and the word as the unit. So you will see a lot of redundant XML tag. Okay, that's why it becomes 11,000 lines. So we see, compared format to format, you can see main advantage in ODF. And if people can accept this advantage, it's easier to tell people that use ODF and then use the software that can generate ODF correctly. Okay, I didn't get many, and that's so The second is the concept of generated document. I will show you two files. Okay, here are two files. They look similar, right? They look similar. But do you know what's the difference between the two files? Do you know what's the difference? Okay, I'll tell you. This one, the style is the default style. And here, this is title 1, or say heading 1. What's the difference? To our eyes, it's the same. But to digital, to Office Suite, editor, it's totally different things. Among all of you, when you type a document and you want to type the title, who just type the title and center it and enlarge the font? Can you raise your hand? Most people do this way, right? But correct way is what? Correct way should be input your title, select it, and use the correct style. Right? Use the correct style. If you use the correct style, for example, when generating the table contents, it will see, okay, this is table, this is a heading 1, right? But for this, you just, what the Office say is only plain text with larger fonts. That's totally different things. So what I say about the concept is just something like this. Using style, using the correct way, we need to consider what editor sees. And if you do the correct way, converting between OOXML and ODF actually is not a problem. If you use the correct way. So that's what I say, the concept of the typesetting. Okay. So we can have some for this is what I just showed you. Use space, right? Or use enter to break page, right? For the editor, you see a lot of paragraph. But what I need is just a page break. Okay, they see total different things. But for our eyes, it looks the same. Okay, so you need to have the concept to generate documents. Okay, finally, open fonts. Very rarely people have the concept that fonts has their own license. Every font has their own license. I will give you some unique something. For example, this one is Chinese, but I will tell you. This is in the Microsoft TechNet. And it is asking how to buy a font from Microsoft. The default font after maybe Windows 7, we call Microsoft Zenhei. Okay? And the answer of it is this. Okay? You see? And I translate it for you. Okay? You can only install the font by installing Windows Vista or Office 2007. All the other ways are illegal. So you think about this. If you generate a document with this font and the receiver does not use Windows, what can I do? Usually the system will use another font to replace this one, but it may break the typesetting. Right? Especially if you use space to the position. right? So fonts has their own license. Microsoft C fonts, and this is Japanese, right? MS Mintra, MS Gothic, they are all licensed fonts. And for non-Windows users, they don't have the fonts, so they may have no way to see what you really see. Okay, so using the open fonts, for example, no sans serif, or Kochi Mintra, or Japanese too. Yeah, using open fonts, English fonts, that can make the receiver see correctly. Even they don't have the font, they can download it freely. Right? So with the correct concept of typesetting and with correct fonts we use, we can have interoperable documents, especially using the correct file format. So that's my last one. From now on, our concept, I hope if you communicate with people, communicate with other people, when we want to promote LibreOffice, we don't need to promote LibreOffice itself. We can start from this. How to generate interoperable documents. Now we need to think about the receiver, not only yourself. And file format is important, concept is important, font is important. And only we generate interoperable documents, we can work together better. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for presenting it. And so thanks for the time schedule. So after this talk, so we just lunch, so we can accept the question. Yeah. Anyone has a question?
Questions?
日本語でも大丈夫ですよ。翻訳ができるかどうかはちょっと保証してませんけど。難しいこと、日本語の場合は難しい質問をお控えください。
Okay, you can also contact with me offline. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.